Everything looks good. Awesome. So this video topic, I'm actually very passionate about this to a certain extent. Let's just say on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm quite passionate about this. So the title of this is, you don't always need full range of motion in order to maximize muscle growth. Now let me explain, because I can already hear the foreign police out there knocking on my door. Hell, they're probably towing my car right now, threatening to repossess it if I don't come out right now with my hands behind my fucking waist or something like that. But yeah, you don't always need full range of motion to maximize muscle growth. Now, before I begin, full range of motion. Yeah, I actually have a script for this. Full range of motion is one of the most, if not the most, overrated aspects in this game of bodybuilding. Let me explain. Before I'm crucified. Take the shoulder press for instance. Now, okay, this was way back in the day. I was shoulder pressing many years ago. Yes, this was back when I was, I was still Professor Art, but I was a much smaller Professor Art. So yeah, I was shoulder pressing in the gym, only to have one of my peers say, "Yo, bro, try going lower. Try making the dumbbells touch your shoulders." Now, I'm laughing because you might not find this funny if you're someone who's a novice or someone who's pretty new to exercise. But now, as a person with a really wide wingspan, I know this is it's a perfect recipe for a disaster, essentially, right? The amount of impingements that I can accumulate from following such practices via abiding by full range of motion with this, in this context, the same. It also doesn't help that I have spider monkey arms, which brings me to my next point. As lifters, we all have different leverages. Not all of us are going to lift a certain way, or we're not going to have the same techniques implemented in order to actually move weight, right? This is, of course, due to our differing joint to limb ratios. Well, as a result, what definitively constitutes as full range of motion, I can't even speak right now. Full range of motion. I can't speak. Full range of motion differs from person to person, right? Now, the squat is probably the biggest offender of this, right? Considering the philosophy of squatting ass to grass, everyone, their bald-headed grandmother regurgitates this bullshit. Squat ass to grass. You want big quads? Squat ass to grass, right? And interestingly enough, right, if I were to ever post a video of myself squatting, bro, oh my god, the foreign police will be all over that shit like German roaches on a piece of spoiled fucking bread, like mice to fucking cheese or mice to peanut butter, fucking woodpeckers to a goddamn, I don't know, a freaking tree branch. They would swarm all over that shit. Alright? They'd be pissed, whatever. And now, mind you, granted, my legs aren't impressive yet. They're gonna get there, trust me. Like in a year or two, whatever, you're gonna see the progress, whatever. They're gonna get there. I'm gonna make updates. Now, the foreign police import powerlifting standards on whatever lift you are doing. It doesn't matter what the fuck you're doing. You could be doing a skull crush. You could be doing a bicep curl. Shoulder presses. The foreign police are all up in that shit, right? The problem is they import powerlifting standards, right? And they're doing so with the association of it being the optimal way to build muscle. They associate powerlifting standards, full range of motion, to be the optimal way of building muscle. Now, in my case, this is fucking fraudulent because I've been shoulder pressing, by keeping a 90-degree angle, and I don't think my shoulders look like trash. They look pretty good to me. They look pretty. I'd argue they pretty much kind of dominate my physique. Yeah, I'd argue they're probably one of my best body parts. But this is, keep in mind, this is as someone who doesn't have, this is as someone who has a really long wingspan. Like my wingspan's pretty long, and I understood that if I went any lower on the shoulder press, the dumbbell shoulder press, I suffer from impingements, rotator cuff injuries, all this little sort of stuff. So it's a risk to reward. The risk to reward ratio of performing a movement to the full extent of whatever my contrarian to this video might say, whatever, right? The full range of motion. The risk reward ratio just isn't fucking there. So You're abiding by this standard, this arbitrary standard that some jackass who probably doesn't have a good physique behind the keyboard types religiously. So this jackass has a standard and you're forced to abide by it because he just said so because of reasons. And these standards are derived from powerlifting. Now, this isn't necessarily a jab at powerlifters, but those who consume their content and those who pretty much use their content to kind of dick measure with everyone else. They see an impressive lift, a somewhat impressive lift online. They try to discredit it by saying, "Oh, it wasn't full range of motion, bro, so therefore it doesn't count." No. If within the context of building muscle, I don't give a fuck about full range of motion. Now, well, I do care and I don't care. I don't care if it's abiding by your powerlifting standards, but I do care if it's accommodating someone's build. If it's accommodating how their physiology, I don't even know if physiology is the proper word to use in this context, but their skeletal structure is kind of intertwined with the movement, whatever. If it's, if it goes together well, if it matches up together well, right? Now, greater range of motion does not necessarily equate to greater microscopic tears in muscle fibers, because now your joints are taking priority in receiving the brunt of the movement. Now, of course, the extent of which this occurs is dependent on how great of a degree you extend your limbs. Take the bicep curl for instance. Now, after years of bicep tendonitis experienced by YouTube Fitness along with a multitude of OG lifters on this platform who made the ultimate sacrifice, it's widely accepted that you have to keep a slight bend on bicep curls. Yeah, it's widely accepted. You have to keep a slight bend because that extra bend, you're not adding anything to the overall muscle stretch. You're not stretching anything. You're only placing the overall tendon, the joint, at risk. Now, if we can accept this, this is widely accepted now. Everyone accepts it for some fucking reason. You know the reason, because I just stated previously. People have gotten injured, they've gotten bicep tendonitis, they've gotten really ugly injuries as a result. Hell, even the skull crushers, for example. I've known, and this is an observation that I'm making, whatever. I've noticed an observation where people who have shorter arms, kind of, they experience a bunch of pain in their elbows. I'm not sure why that is from a physical standpoint, but I've never experienced tendonitis, at least elbow tendonitis from skull crushers. They're actually one of my favorite movements for the long-headed tricep. But again, that's how I'm built. That's how my build works. Extending the overall movement, or whatever, the essential portion of the actual lift, my body does that efficiently without experiencing pain. Now, the risk-reward ratio, it's all dependent on who the hell is performing the lift. We're not all the same people, whatever. Some people are built like grasshoppers, which I happen to be built like grasshoppers. Some people are built like fucking garden gnomes. Some people are built like fucking dwarves. Some people are built like fucking midgets. Some people are built like orcs. It all depends. So try not to stress too much on full range of motion as your favorite YouTuber, / powerlifter suggests. Take what they say with a grain of salt and keep in mind that they have certain leverages that make certain lifts optimized. And they can get away with these lifts because they're not injured. Hell, take the upright row, for instance, which I'm hesitant to, at one point I was hesitant to introduce the upright row into my trap building regimen because, yeah, as you can see, my traps can use a little bit more definition in them. Yeah, I've been trying to grow them out. So hashtag, Teron Beckham, I feel your pain. Wide shoulders, but traps are just like kind of there, but they're not coming in there. Especially the upper traps, I really got to grow them. But yeah, I've been hesitant to introduce the upright row to my actual into my, the fuck do you call it again? Workout program? Yeah, workout program. See, I can't even function correctly. I need sleep more. Yeah, but I'm thinking of introducing upright rows into it. However, in the past when I was a kid, I would perform with the dumbbells, whatever, but I would kind of go upright, really, really upright. Now, that's obviously not the best way to do it. If you take what I've said into consideration, it'd be optimal for me, whatever. This is however that hypothesis, whatever. It'd be more optimal for me to go actually to stop whatever my nipples are, kind of. Take that comment with where you want to, interpret it however you want to interpret it. I don't give a fuck anymore. I'm not gonna say pause or no homo, right? So stopping just shy of the impingement and taking into consideration that the front delts might try to take over. The anterior delt might get injured, rotator cuff might get injured. So So I'm gonna take that into consideration next time. Next time I incorporate this movement into my actual program. And yeah, that's about it. I don't have anything much to share with you guys other than just this short rant that's been on my head while I was at work, because it really, like, it rubs me the wrong way when people are squatting or they're benching. And you got some jackass behind a fucking keyboard saying that's not full range of motion, and the guy's passion is bodybuilding. It's not powerlifting. It's not strongman. He's not going to a fucking meet. Like he's not shoving 5,000 goddamn calories down his throat, whatever. When he goes to the bathroom, he can see his dick. You know, like your passion isn't strength. It's not moving a weight a particular way in a particular standard that coaches are there to pretty much judge by. No, you are an aesthetic chase. You chase aesthetics, and you're not necessarily prioritizing function over form, or what you kind of are, because you're an artist in a way. Hell, I'm an artist, professor of art. Get it? But yeah, you're an artist. However, you're taking your structural integrity into consideration, and you're kind of bending the ways of lifting in a way. And art, art is very similar to that. There are certain rules in art that are constantly broken. There are certain rules in art, whatever, the fundamental natures of art, whatever, the overall values. Hell, abstract art is probably the biggest offender of breaking the rules of art. There is, hell. To this day, I don't know what makes abstract art so great, other than how it makes people feel. Hell, take that what you will, but yeah, abstract art is the biggest offender of that. It's liberating in a way as well, because you can make it whatever you want, and exercise should be that. It should be that. Try to tailor a particular movement to how you are built, tailor programs towards how you are built, and don't abide by this dogmatic standard that people try to place upon you. And that's pretty much it. Professor Art is out. I'm out. That sounds a little cringe. I'm never going to say that shit ever again. But yeah, peace.